Hola, profe, buenas noches, bienvenida.
Buenas noches.
Hola, profe, buenas noches, bienvenida. Buenas noches a todos. Buenas noches a todos. Buenas noches a todos. Les doy la cordial bienvenida a la última clase de gramática para invitarlos a que hagan el llenado de la valoración estudiantil que va a estar habilitado 7 días posteriores al día de hoy y cuenta un 5% de la nota y para compartirles los parámetros de las sesiones por videoconferencia. Las secciones se graban, pueden verlas nuevamente en la plataforma virtual. Les solicitamos que por favor silencien sus micrófonos y puedan activarlos cuando quieran hacer consultas o aportes con el permiso del docente. Le pedimos que mantenga su cámara activa. De no poder hacerlo, enviar su excusa por el chat de Zoom. De lo contrario, será retirado de la sección y le serán restados puntos en la valoración del docente. Miro cómo moderador es facilitar y apoyar en la parte técnica. Consultas por el chat personal o general. Les exhorto a tener bolígrafo y papel para hacer sus anotaciones y aprovechar al máximo esta sección que tiene una duración de 2 horas. Bienvenido.
Ok, espera un momentito y arranco.
Sí, profe, claro que sí.
English.
Okay, so welcome students to the last class for grammar. And today we are going to develop the last reading from the module number 5 that is about the conditional sentences. Okay. Okay, some words that maybe help you to say thanks for everything that you received during your life. Keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. By Mahatma Gandhi. Review of a previous class. And remember the last class was about the adjective class. So what is an adjective class? I'm sorry, adjective clause. An adjective clause is a part of a sentence which give us a. Sorry, I have some trouble with my camera. Give us more information about the noun or pronoun. And however, an adjective clause is more than one word. And there are some pronouns. Can I mention some pronouns that find an adjective clause? For example, who, that, which, whom, whose, where, and when. Okay. Let me see that. Reading number 2, conditional sentence. Conditional sentences are statements discussing non-factors or hypothetical situations and their consequences. Complete a conditional sentence contain a conditional clause, often refers to as the if clause and the consequence. Okay. So in the platform, you can find a reading, and the last reading, the reading number 2 and the module number 5, that contains some information about this topic. But maybe you can find it in Spanish. Okay. So the first one, it's short information about the conditional sentence. So as you can read in the presentation, a conditional sentence are statements discussing noun factors or hypothetical situation and their consequence. And conditional sentence have two parts or clauses that give a condition. in the dependent clause and a result in the dependent clause, in the independent clause. And the conditional clause usually contains an if statement. There are several different forms of conditional sentence that allow the writer to express various meanings using different tenses. For example, the condition if clause plus the result clause. And so in the case of the conditional sentence, remember that are made by two parts. The first one by the if clause, that is a conditional sentence, and the other one is the main clause, that is the main sentence, okay? So maybe you can start with the main clause or with the if clause when the sentence begins with if, okay? So in the reading you can find okay, let me share with you a video that maybe explain more about the, the topic as a reinforce. So let me share with you the video, okay? Give me some seconds.
English conditionals. Hello from 7ESL North American headquarters. For the most part, English verbs are not too difficult. The word endings are simple. You just have to remember S for the third person, ED for the past tenses, and a few others. And many of the tenses and moods used in other languages have fallen out of use in English. But there's one exception, the conditional tenses. I'm not going to lie to you, these are complicated. There are 4 types of conditional, which we call the 0, first, second, and third conditionals. Why not 1, 2, 3, and 4? We're not sure. It may be just to confuse you. But don't despair. Unlike many English verb forms, these are regular. Once you master them, you'll find that there are very few exceptions to the rules. So your best course of action is to work through these forms step by step. And that's exactly what we're here to help you do. Are you ready? Zero conditional. If plus present simple, present simple. If you heat water at 100 degrees, it boils. Use. To talk about things that are always true, like a scientific fact. First conditional. If plus present simple, simple future. If it's sunny, we'll go to the park. Use. To talk about possibilities in the present or in the future. Second conditional. If plus past simple, present conditional. If I won $1 million, I would buy a new car. Use. Imaginary situations in the present or future. Third conditional. If plus past perfect, perfect conditional. If the weather had been good, we would have gone water skiing. Use. Imagine situations in the past. Mixed one conditional. If plus past perfect, present conditional. If I had listened to your advice, I wouldn't be in the mess. Use. Present result of a past condition. Mixed two conditional. If plus past simple, perfect conditional. If I were a good cook, I would have invited them to dinner. Use. Past result of a present or continuing condition. Present conditional. Would or wouldn't plus verb, bare form. Perfect conditional. Would or wouldn't plus have plus past participle. That's all. Was that difficult enough for you? Our advice: practice each step until you're sure you understand it, and then tell a story about something you would have done if you had had time. Good luck!
Okay, so as you can see in the screen and heard in the video, the first one or the first type in the conditional sentence are the zero conditionals. Okay, okay. So, let me say something before. When or unless we put a comma, so it's like a kid, right? We put a comma between the if class and the main class. But if the sentence begins with the main class, the two parts of the sentence are not separated by a comma. So it's important to know what are the different types of conditional sentences, okay? As you can hear it in the video, there are 4 different types of conditional sentences in English, and each express a different degree of probability that a situation will occur or would have occurred and under the certain circumstance. So the first one, the zero conditional sentence, the next one, first conditional sentence, second conditional sentence, and third conditional sentence. But can I mention another one that is a condition and mixed conditional sentence? Okay? So the last one, zero conditional sentence, express general truths, situations in which one thinks always causes another. And when you use a zero conditional sentence, you're talking about the general truth rather than a specific instance of something. For example, if you don't brush your teeth to get cavities, okay? So if you don't brush your teeth, you get cavities. Or when people smoke cigarettes, their health suffers. There are a couple of things to take note of about sentences which in the zero condition is used. So when you use the zero conditional, the correct tense to use in both clauses is the simple present tense. Um, and you can see some common mistake at the moment to use the simple future tense. So notice that the words if and when can be used interchangeable in this zero conditional sentence. So this is because the outcome will always be the same. So it doesn't matter if or when it happens. Okay. Okay. The zero conditional use the present tense in both clauses and is used to talk about something that is always or generally true. And the present tense signifies or means that these actions are both possible and typical. For example, can I mention the form or a formula for this kind of conditional sentence? If plus simple present. This is the basic formula for this kind of sentence. Can I mention another example? If it rains, I take an umbrella with me to work. Or if I wake up early, I always read in my bed. So, can I mention the other important information that we can find in the reading number 2 that is about the first conditional sentence. So the first conditional sentence are used to express situations in which the outcome is likely but not guaranteed to happen in the future. Okay? For example, if you rest, you will feel better. So it's not the truth, but it's something that maybe can happen, but it's not the truth, okay? Or if you set if you set your mind to a goal, if you set your mind to a goal, you eventually achieve it. So if you set your mind to a goal, okay? When you use the simple present tense in the fifth class and simple future tense in the main class, that is the clause that express the likely outcome. This is a specific result will likely happen in the future. So the first conditional, when use the present tense, is the if clause and the future tense in the result clause. This form is used to talk about something that is a probable future result of a condition. So the formula if plus simple present or will plus past verb. If plus simple present or will plus past verb. Okay, for example, if you see later, if you see later, I will say hello. Or if I don't see you later, I won't be able to say hello, okay? Another important information that is about the second conditional sentence. The second conditional sentences are useful to expressing outcomes that are completely unrealistic or will not likely happen in the future. For example, if I inherit $1 billion, if I inherit $1 billion, I will travel to the moon. That is illogical, but if I own a zoo, I might let people interact with the animals more. Okay, so the correct way to structure second conditional sentence is to use the simple past tense in the if clause and an auxiliary modal verb like could, should, would, and might in the main clause. The one that express the unrealistic or unlikely outcome. So the second conditional sentence use the past tense in the if clause and a modal and verb base in the result clause. This form is used to talk about the hypothetical situation that can happen or is unlikely to happen. So in this case, can I mention the formula that is if plus simple past plus model plus case verb. And can I mention some examples like if I had $1 million, I will buy a large vacation home. Or if I were you, I wouldn't wait to study for the test. And the condition and the result are not taking place in the past, but the past tense is used to indicate the unreal nature of the situation. It's important to mention that the use of a modal auxiliary verb in the main clause when using the second conditional mood to express the unlikelihood that the result will actually happen. Okay, so now let me share with you something that maybe if you have the opportunity to do the video in platform or the best class in the platform, you can develop at home and you take as a practice. Okay, so let me share with you the activity. So wait me some seconds, please. Okay. Okay, I have to find it. Is that second.
Profe.
Sí, ya comparto. En un momento.
Ah, pensé que le había pasado algo.
Ya comparto. No había perdido la página. Okay, with all the information that you can find in the platform, I think that we can solve this question. So the first one, what is a conditional sentence? Okay, what is the conditional sentence? A conditional sentence are statements that discuss known factors or hypothetical situations and their consequences. And the conditional sentence contains a conditional clause, often referred to as the if clause and the consequence. And the conditional clause usually contains an if statement. There are several different forms of conditional sentence that allow the writer to express various meanings using different tenses. Okay, so the next one, what is a zero conditional? A zero conditional, and okay, zero conditional use the present tense in both clauses and is used to talk about something that is always or generally true. And the present tense signifies or means that these actions are both possible and typical. Okay, so the zero conditional express general truths in general situations in which one thing always tells another. Okay, when you use a zero conditional, remember you are talking about the general truth rather than a specific instance or something. And the word even when can be used interchangeable in the zero conditional sentence. So this is because the outcome will always be same. So it doesn't matter if or when it happens. Okay. And the first conditional um the first conditional are used to express different situations in which outcomes is likely but not guaranteed to happen in the future. So when you need to use a simple present tense in the if clause and simple future tense in the main clause. In this case, that is a clause that expresses a likely outcome. This is how indicate under certain condition or expressed in the if clause, a specific result will likely happen in the future. So the first condition marks present tense in the if clause and the future tense in the result clause. And this is the form that the people use to talk about something that is a probable future result of a condition. And the second conditional sentence, what is the second conditional? A second conditional sentence are useful to or for expressing outcomes that are completely unrealistic or will not likely happen in the future. For example, can I mention it's possible, but for this reason, it's unrealistic. If I inherited $1 billion, I would travel to the moon. So it's impossible. But express the main idea of a meaning. That's the second conditional sentence. And the correct way to structure the second conditional sentence is to use a simple past tense in the if clause and auxiliary modal verb like could, should, would, or might. In the main clause, the one that expresses the unrealistic or unlikely outcomes. So the second conditional sentence is used with the past tense in the if clause and modal and verb in the result clause. And it's used to talk about a hypothetical situation that cannot happen or is unlikely to happen. Okay? And it's important to mention that the condition and the result are not taking place in the past. But the past tense is used to indicate the unreal nature of the situation. So you need to take this like a tip, okay? And it's important to mention too the use of a modal auxiliary verb in the main clause, okay? So now let me share with you another video. And wait me some seconds, let me share with you the video, okay?
Hello and welcome to the second part of Unit 9, And in this video we are looking at conditional sentences with if clauses. So let's get started. The Stevensons are eating dinner together.
Can I go and play video games?
No, you haven't eaten your vegetables.
But they're disgusting.
No, they're not.
I'm not eating them.
If you eat them, you'll be able to play games all night.
And if I don't?
If you don't eat them, you'll have to sit here all night.
But Mom...
All night.
And if you don't eat vegetables, you might get fat.
But if you eat your carrots, you'll be able to see in the dark.
Wow. Really?
Yep. And if you eat lettuce, you'll turn green. You'll look like the Incredible Hulk.
Okay, I'll eat them.
So in English we have to study conditionals, and today we're going to study the first conditional, okay? And we use the first conditional to show possible consequences. So the structure, we have our if clause, okay, which is the condition, and this is constructed with if and then a clause in the simple present, okay? And after that we have the consequence, which is using the future with modals will, may, or might. So a condition could be if you exercise every day. So this if clause starts with if, then we have our subject and our verb, like we do in all clauses. So if you exercise every day, the consequence, you will be fit and healthy. So we have our subject you, then our modal will, and then the verb be. Okay, so this is the future possible consequence. If you exercise every day, you'll be fit and healthy. Okay, so just to look at the structure, we have our condition in the simple present tense, and then our consequence in the possible future. So our selection of the future modal affects the meaning of the consequence. So for example, if we use will or won't in our consequence, for example, if you get a job, you will earn money. So we've used will. If we choose this modal, it means it's very probable, or if we're using won't, improbable. If we use will in conjunction with be able to, if you graduate from university, you'll be able to apply for more jobs. This means we'll have the ability or the opportunity, okay? So if someone graduates from university, they have the ability or the opportunity to apply for more jobs. Then we have will have to. So if you use have to in conjunction with will, so if you want to buy this TV, you'll have to pay $500. That means it's a necessity or an obligation. Okay? And finally, if we use may or might, for example, if you go to Europe in winter, you might see snow. Well, this means to maybe. So there's approximately a 50% chance. So let's try and complete these first conditionals. So the condition, or the if clause. If you get your driver's license, you'll have to buy a car, or you'll be able to buy a car. So if you have a driver's license, is it necessary to buy a car? Is someone going to force you to buy a car? No, that's your decision. But you will have the opportunity or the ability So you could say, if you get your driver's license, you'll be able to buy a car. Now, a final example is, if you call 911, they may think it's an emergency, or they'll think it's an emergency. Well, if you work for the emergency call center, you expect emergency calls. So it's more than a 50-50 chance. It's very probable that they will think it's an emergency. Okay, so that's everything for this video. So if you would like to do the activities below. Bye!
Hello guys, welcome to Interchange to Unit 9.
Okay, with all the information tonight that you received here in the class, maybe you can solve another classes. But first of all, let me explain the two next important kinds or type in the conditional sentence. And the next one is about the third conditional sentence. Okay, the third conditional sentence are used to explain that present circumstance or situation that would be different and something different had happened in the past. For example, if I had told me you needed a ride, I would have left early. Or if I had cleaned the house, I could have gone to the movies. And this kind of sentence expresses a condition that was likely enough, but did not actually happen in the past. And the speaker in the first sentence was capable of leaving early, but did not. Along the same lines, the speaker in the second sentence was capable of being in the house, but did not. These are all conditions that were likely but frequently did not happen. So when you use the third conditional sentence, we use the past perfect, like a formula, had plus past participle. Okay, in the if class. And the model auxiliary like would, could, should. And the main clause express that the overall situation that could have happened. Okay, so the third conditional sentence use the past perfect in the if class and a model and present perfect in the result class. This form is used to talk about a hypothetical situation in the past that did not happen, typical with an outcome that did not happen and is perhaps the opposite of what did happen. So maybe the formula we have at if plus past perfect model plus present perfect. And can I mention some examples like if it had rained last week, the plants would not have died. Or if I had finished college, I would have become a doctor. So the third conditional express a situation that could have only happened in the past if a certain condition had met. That's what we use the modal auxiliary verb plus have plus the past participle. Okay? And the other one is about the mixed conditional. And a mixed conditionals combine the second and third conditional to present both an unreal condition either in the past or the present and unreal the result. either in the past or the present. And the first form or the first way to present an unreal condition in the past is a change in the real outcome in the present. So the past changes the present. Okay. And the formula is plus past perfect modal plus past verb. And for example, can I mention a sentence like, if I had finished college, I would be a doctor now. Or if it had rained last week, the plants would be alive now. And for example, in the second sentence, from present and unreal condition in the present that change an unreal outcome in the past. And so the present changed the past, okay? And that's the second one. And can I mention another examples like with different formula, like if plus simple past, would or could plus present perfect. And example number one, if I had spoke louder, you would have heard me before. Or if you were nicer, you could have had more friends when you were younger. So it's important to take in mind this kind of information. And wait, let me see. Okay, can I mention another important aspect that maybe you can't find in the reading, but it's important to mention because remember all this information is it's a global information that maybe help you to improve your knowledge. Okay, so can I mention some exceptions and special cases when using conditional sentences? So with all the topics in English language, conditional sentence often present special cases in which unique rules must be applied. So can I mention the use of simple future in the if clause? General speaking, the simple future should be used only in the main clause. And can I mention some exceptions? Or one exception, that is when the action is the if clause will take place after the action in the main clause. For example, if aspirin will even me his age, I will take a couple tonight. Okay, so the action in the if clause is the aspirin in the sentence, right? The aspirin is in the head age, which will take place only after the speaker takes them later that tonight. So where to in the if clause is another case. Where to in the if clause. The verb phrase where to is sometimes using conditional sentence when the likely or unlikely result in particular awful or unthinkable. In this case, where to use is used to place emphasis of or in this potential outcome. For example, if I were to be sick, I will miss another day of work. Or if she were to be late again, she would have to have a conference with the manager. Or if the rent were to have been paid more, they would not have been able to pay it. So it's important that put a little emphasize in word to that can be used to describe hypothetical scenarios in the present, future, and past. Okay. So now I would like to share the second part of the second activity for the class. And remember, if you have the time to solve a poem, that's great for me. Maybe help you to understand all the information that you can that you receive in the platform and all the assignment that you need to send me during this week. Okay. So if you have the opportunity to put in practice all this information, And to solve this module, let's wait for me, okay? So let me share with you the second part of this information. So let me take a picture. Okay. Okay, so what you need to do here, you need to answer some questions. So the first one, what is a third conditional sentence? Okay, okay, the third conditional sentence are used to explain that presents a situation that would be different if something different happened in the past. Okay, so the sentence can express a condition that was likely enough but did not actually happen in the past. And the speaker in the first sentence was capable of leaving early, but did not. So, and the speaker in the second sentence was capable of cleaning, for example, right? The husband did not. And when you use the third conditional, we use the past perfect. So you have to in mind that. And if the clause, the modal auxiliary, you can use that would, could, should, and the main clause. Remember that the main clause expresses the oracle situation that could have happened. And the third conditional sentence use the past perfect in the F clause and the modal present perfect in the reversal clause. It's the form that the people use to talk about in a hypothetical way or situation in the past that did not happen. And it perhaps the opposite of what did happen. Okay. And what is a mixed conditional? A mixed conditional combined is a combination by the second and third conditionals to present both an unreal condition or situation either in the past or the present, and an unreal result either in the past or the present. So the first form, and I mentioned two different forms, and is the unreal condition. And the unreal condition in the past that changed an unreal outcome in the present. And the second one is the real. It's the present and unreal condition in the present that changed an unreal outcome in the past. Okay, so what's the next one? What are the real conditions? The real conditions. The real conditions are the zero and first conditional sentence, and that is more that may be used that through to explain the situation. Okay, and the unreal conditional sentence are the second, third, and mixed conditional sentence that use the unrealistic or hypothetical situation to express something. Okay. Okay, so now let me share with you a video. Okay, wait some seconds, please. Okay.
I'm really enjoying this movie.
Same here. If I stay up too late, I won't be able to sleep tonight.
If I was a superhero, my superpower would be incredible speed.
Why would you want that?
Because I would be able to get everything done quickly.
If you were productive, you would get things done quicker.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Mine would be to eat as much food as I want without gaining weight.
You don't need a superpower for that. If you exercise, you will lose weight.
I don't have any motivation to exercise. If I don't lose weight, I'll be miserable.
You're not fat. If you want to be in good shape, exercise frequently. Join the gym with me.
That's a great idea. When I exercise, I feel happier.
If I were you, I'd go to the gym at least 3 times a week.
If I can wake up early enough every morning, I'll go 3 times a week.
Okay, that's fine. But if you're not consistent, then you won't see any results.
I'll try my best to go every week. If I wasn't working all week, I'd have more time to go.
You should stop working so much. You're always so tired.
How would we afford to pay the bills if I don't work?
I'll get a job as soon as I find something I like.
You will find a job if you search harder. You're being so lazy.
I wouldn't be so harsh if I were you. You could lose your job anytime.
I'm not being harsh. If I don't try to encourage you, you'll just carry on sitting at home all day.
If I had gone to a better university, it would have been easier to find a good job.
To be honest, you would have gotten the last job if you had prepared for the interview.
You're right. If I start searching for jobs now, I'll find something soon.
Great. Good luck.
When I eat popcorn, it makes me so thirsty. We've eaten way too much.
If you eat too much, you'll feel sick.
True. If I eat too much now, I'll regret it tomorrow.
Hey, let's clean up. If you clean the floor, I'll wash the dishes.
Sounds good to me.
Zero conditional is used to talk about things that are true or factual in the present tense, for example, rules and laws. For example, if you want to be in good shape, exercise frequently. First conditional is used to talk about future situations we believe are real or possible. For example, if you clean the floor, I'll wash the dishes. Second conditional is used when imagining present or future situations that are unlikely to happen in reality. For example, if I wasn't working all week, I'd have more time to go. Third conditional is used for past situations that are unreal or imaginary. For example, you would have gotten the last job if you had prepared for the interview?
So, as a resume of the information that you received here today, conditional sentences are used to speculate about what could happen or what might have happened and what we wish would happen. So the most sentences used in the conditional contain the word if. Okay? So many conditional forms in English are using sentences that include the verbs in one of the past tenses. And this usage is referred to as the unreal past because we use the past tense, but we are not actually referring to something that happened in the past. And there are, can I mention, or you know that exists four different conditional sentences in English. And in all cases, the sentences are made up of an if clause and a main clause. And in many negative conditional sentences, there is an equivalent sentence construction using unless instead of if. Okay. So the first one, as we know, is the pseudo conditional. That is used for when the time being referred to is now or always and the situation is real and possible. Okay. For all the situations that you consider are real and possible. The zero conditional often used to refer to general truth. And the word if can usually be replaced by the word when without changing the meaning. Okay. And the first type of conditional sentence or the first conditional sentence is used to refer to the present or future where the situation is real. And it refers to a possible condition of its probable result. In this sentence, the if clause, it is a simple present and the main clause is the simple future. And the second type or the second conditional sentence is used to refer to a time that is now or any time and a situation that is unreal. These sentences are not based on fact and is used to refer to hypothetical situation or condition and its probable result. And that if plus, the if plus use the simple past and the main plus use the present conditional. And the third type or the third conditional sentence is used to refer to a time that is in the past and a situation that is contrary to reality. So the facts they are based on are the opposite of what is expressed. The three type conditionals is used to refer to an unreal past condition and it's probably a past result. And the if clause use the past perfect and the main clause use the perfect conditional. And the mixed conditional sentence is used to refer to a time that is in the past and a situation that is ongoing into the present. The facts they are based are or based on are the opposite of what is expressed, and the mixed type of conditional is used to refer an unreal past condition and its probable result in the present. And the mixed conditional sentence use the if clause in the present in the past perfect and the main clause in the present conditional. Okay. So if you have the time or the opportunity, You can check the platform and for all the information that you can find in the reading, and you can find some important aspects and some important exercise that you can develop, okay, as a practice in the at home, okay. So you can find some exercise like to translate to the following sentence, to the different sentence in English, because the reading is in Spanish, so you need to translate to the English language, okay? So you can find some important activities using the zero first conditional sentence. And remember all the important rules that you have to apply in the activity. So, and as a conclusion, okay, as a conclusion, okay, so you know there are some aspects that conditionals should be noted in order to make their use easier and clearer or more easy for you. And the first one is that conditional sentence can be categorized as real and unreal. Okay, so if you want to put in practice, you think or you need to think of this as a mean possible or impossible situation. And zero and first conditionals are possible as they deal with things that are generally true or that could be true in the future. Second, third, and mixed conditional are impossible because they are either the hypothetical situations or concerned with events in the past that we cannot change. And it's important to know that the real conditionals support by the zero and the first conditional sentence, and the unreal conditionals considered by the second, third, and mixed conditional sentence. And in the second conditional, the conditional sentence, the simple past is used to is using the conditional clause or the condition clause. If the verb is being used, it is difficult to use word in more formal contexts. If you're speaking formally, so or that was more usual. So can I mention two different ways? That the formal way, for example, can I mention a sentence like, if I were you, I would drink more water. And the informal way, if I was you, I wouldn't stay out so late. Okay, so we're using the best way. When you find something here in the presentation, okay. That one. open all the conditionals.
Profe, profe, no se le escucha.
Ahora sí.
Muy pasito.
Ok, ¿y ahora?
Ahora sí.
Ok, ya comparto. Okay, so as a conclusion, let me conclude the class with the last video for the class for today, and then measure the last information for you. Okay, so listen to this and pay attention to the video.
There are 5 types of conditionals: zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and mixed conditional. A conditional is a type of sentence that is made up of an if clause and a main clause. The if clause is known as the condition, and the main clause is the result. The sentence describes a situation that might happen or might have happened. The sentence usually starts with if or when. It's important to note the if clause can be first or the second part of the sentence. Zero conditional. This is made up of if plus the present simple plus present simple. The zero conditional refers to situations that are always true or possible. For example, if it rains, the ground gets wet. If you heat ice, it melts. It's important to note that when can also be used instead of if. For example, when you heat ice, it melts. First conditional. This is made up of if plus the present simple plus the future simple. First conditional refers to a situation that is possible or realistic. For example, if I go to the shop, I will buy something. If I study hard, I will pass my exams. Second conditional. This is made up of if plus the past simple plus would and the base form of a verb. Second conditional refers to a situation that is impossible or unlikely to happen. For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a mansion. Another example is, if I were you, I would quit smoking. Third conditional. This is made up of if plus the past perfect plus would have plus the past participle. The third conditional refers to a past situation that differs from reality. For example, if I had saved my money, I would have bought a car. If I had studied, I would have passed my exams. Mixed conditional. So mixed conditional can be if plus a second conditional followed by third conditional, or if plus a third conditional followed by the second conditional. We know that the second conditional is if plus the past participle plus would have followed by the verb in the base form, and the third conditional is if plus the past perfect plus would have followed by the past participle. For example, if I weren't so busy, I would have gone on holiday last week. So we have the second conditional followed by third conditional. If I had been born in the UK, I would speak English very well. In this example, we start off with the third conditional followed by the second conditional.
Okay, so now you know the importance that you know this kind of information that maybe help you to broaden your knowledge and help you to continue with your preparation or information in the English environment. Okay, so it's important that you have the time to put in practice all this information with the different exercises that you can find in the platform, in the reading, and remember that you need to complete with all the assignment that you have to send me during this week. Remember, this is the last week that you have to send me all the assignments from the 5 modules. So I hope you can find it in all the information and can solve all the assignments and tests too to complete the modules and complete the course. Important aspect inside the reading: zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, mixed conditional. All this information is in the reading. Okay, so don't study because you need to, don't study because knowledge is power. Study because you can never take it away from you. Study because you want to know more. Study because it entertains you, and study because it grows you. So with this information, I hope you have the time to solve all the information in the platform. Remember, you need to complete all the forums in the platform. Recuerden que todo esto forma parte de su evaluación en la plataforma, al igual de que la valoración estudiantil en la plataforma, ya que muchos se les llega a olvidar completarla. Entonces es un 5% que se pierde en la evaluación. Entonces los foros también forman parte de su nota. Así que por favor no olviden completarlos y de completar las tareas también y los tests, las pruebas. Tienen que completarlas y toda esta información que reciban aquí y la que está en la plataforma les puede ayudar a completarlo de una manera un poco más segura. Okay, so with this information, I think it's all for today. And I hope you can find or you complete all the goals that you propose in your life. And remember, you need to continue studying. Hay que continuar y espero poder verlos en otro curso. So I think that is all for today, and see you the next class in another course, okay, in another opportunity, en otra oportunidad. Entonces esto sería todo por el día de hoy y nos vemos en otra oportunidad, ok.
Profe, muchas gracias. La sección se da por finalizada y recuerden lo que le dijo la profe. A llenar la valoración estudiantil que va a estar habilitado 7 días posteriores al día de hoy. Cuenta un 5% de la nota. Feliz noche, profe.